Welcome back to our channel. We just finished seeing the TNA pay-per-view Bound for Glory, October 10th, 2010.
10, 10, 10.
By the time we finish editing and uploading this video, it'll probably be Columbus Day, so happy Columbus Day, everybody.
10, 11, 10.
But if you live in the UK, thanks for sending him over. Alright, pay-per-view started off with a little music intro type thing. And the first match was the tag team titles match between the Motor City Machine Guns and Generation Me.
Alright, this was a cool match even though it was one-sided during the first half of the match. What can I say? I thought they were going to try to make it as good as the Motor City Machine Gun versus Beer Money matches that happened about a month ago. It was around that. It was pretty cool. Some pretty cool stuff happened.
The mat work in the match was truly great. Some crazy reversals and
High flying and tag team moves for the win.
they really utilized the whole ring and the ropes very well.
Which I was hoping that they did. And the Motor City Machine Guns won the match
And retained their titles. The overall rating for the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Generation Me match was, we would give it a 4 out of 5.
Alright, after this was the interview with Madison Rayne and Tara and Christy Hemme, and there was a lot of exchanging of the word skank. Somehow I knew that would happen.
Immediately following this interview was the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Knockout Championship between Tara, Madison Rayne, and the Beautiful People.
Alright, and as for the Knockouts title match, it was supposed to be a Fatal 4-Way, but they were fighting as if it was a tag team match. That confused the crap out of me. I wonder if it confused any of ya. Comment, video response, do what you do. But let's see, the winner of the match was Tara, and Madison Rayne started to argue with Tara because of this, and Madison Rayne shoved Mickie James, who was the special ref, and Mickie James attacked her, went out, match was over. Right after the match was Eric Young promo with Christy Hemme. It was a really funny promo, it was really weird though. And right after that, it was Eric Young and Orlando Jordan versus Inc. again. Now see, this match was cool, it was funny. Eric Young seemed to not know which team he was on. He even brought the TNA rulebook out with him. I don't even know if that's a real rulebook, but hey, it was a funny match. Eric Young was high-fiving the other team, and Orlando Jordan was getting frustrated because EY kept on attacking him, which caused them to lose the match. Inc. won, and
during the interview and the entrance into the match, Orlando Jordan was wearing a very weird
white lace outfit.
Yeah, and a mask to match
which was
it.
White.
There was a certain part of the match I found very funny. Eric Young slipped onto the top rope, and then I believe it was Jesse Neal picked up Orlando Jordan, and he put him immediately behind Eric Young on top of the top rope, and they started hugging. Well, Orlando Jordan hugged Eric Young from behind. They were both on the top rope, caught between their legs, and Orlando Jordan started to hug Eric Young, which I found hilarious.
And then Inc. started shaking the rope up and down, so that was pretty awkward but funny. Try to envision that. Two dudes on the rope that's going up and down, and one of the guys just happens to be hugging the other. Bum, bum, bum. Inc. won the match, and Eric Young decided to celebrate with them. But that was it for the match. Inc. won. It was a funny match. We gave it a 4-star rating, and after this it was the Jeff Hardy promo, which was actually a really high energy promo for Jeff. Usually he's low on energy when he talks, but this was actually a pretty solid promo.
And during this promo, it kind of foreshadowed what will happen later on in the night with Jeff.
He was acting really cocky.
After this promo was the match, the X Division match between Jay Lethal and Douglas Williams.
One of the highlights of the match was when Doug Williams got to do the rolling German suplex. Yeah. The match was won by Jay Lethal, and Douglas Williams decided to do a Hurricane Rana on him, but Jay Lethal quickly reversed it into a roll-up and got the pin.
Then after the match, Jay Lethal went into the stands and started celebrating with the crowd and started taking pictures with them. It was pretty nice.
Alright, the overall rating for the X Division match was a 3.5 out of 5. Entertaining match, real cool. After this, it was the Monsters Ball match between Abyss and RVD. One of the highlights of the match was when RVD did the Rolling Thunder over the top rope onto Abyss, who was on the table. Now, see, later on in the match, RVD also got to use Janice because it was no DQs. It was Monsters Ball. RVD won with the 5-star frog splash, and although the match had some cool points, it dragged along in between those. So
we gave it a 3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5.
Alright, now after this, it was the Wolfpack and the Pope D'Angelo De Niro versus Samoa Joe and Jeff Jarrett. It was a handicap match.
Handicap tag.
And during the match, Samoa Joe did a Pele on Kevin Nash, I believe, and went to tag in Jeff Jarrett, but Jeff Jarrett left him behind, leaving Joe to fight the Pope, Sting, and Nash
by himself.
All alone.
While Samoa Joe was by himself, Kevin Nash did the jackknife powerbomb to win the match for the Wolfpack.
Alright, after this was the big announcement that Team 3D had to make. It was that they are retiring from tag team wrestling. But before they retire this Thursday, they're going to fight for the last time of all tag teams, the Motor City Machine Guns. I'm waiting to see how that turns out. I believe it's Team 3D passing the torch on to the Motor City Machine Guns. See how this turns out.
After this was a promo with Fortune and Christy Hemme. Each one took their turn describing on how bad EV2 was and how they would win the match.
Immediately after this was the match between EV 2.0 and Fortune. It was a lethal lockdown match. It was actually a pretty cool match. A lot of blood, especially on Raven's part. His blonde hair turned red.
Once again. Kazarian got thrown out of the ring and Stevie went to chase him. They wound up on top of the cage and Stevie was on top of a table and Kazarian was about to jump off the ladder into Stevie.
Brian Kendrick came out with an interference, got to KO Kazarian and stood on top of the cage doing some meditation thing, going like
in the fetal position.
And Taz called it the crisscross applesauce. Tommy Dreamer won with the Dreamer Driver
on AJ Styles,
and
they get to stay in TNA.
We give this match a 4.5
out of 5. And
then it was time for the main event. Jeff Hardy versus Mr. Anderson versus Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle had the most to lose out of this because if he lost the match, he'd be leaving TNA
and retiring from wrestling for good.
Now, see, this match was good. It was real good. Until
Bischoff came out with a chair planning to hit Angle.
But then you hear the the remix to the NWO music, the black and white, you know. And Hogan came out with his crutches, even though
he was walking perfectly fine.
Didn't look injured at all. Supposed back injury.
When Hogan enters the ring, Bischoff throws the chair out of the ring, acting like nothing was going to happen. There's a confrontation between Hulk Hogan and Bischoff. Bischoff takes a crutch from Hogan and attempts to swing at him. Jeff Hardy enters the ring
and tries to be a peacemaker.
He takes the crutch from Hogan and threatens to hit Bischoff. There's a little confrontation between Jeff and Bischoff for about 5 seconds, and then, of all things to happen, Jeff Hardy turns and hits Kurt Angle with the crutch, and then continues to do the same thing after being cheered on by Bischoff to Mr. Anderson. Guess who wins the match, people? That's right, Jeff Hardy turns heel, wins the match, gets the championship. Abyss comes out along with Jeff Jarrett, and they all start to celebrate in the ring.
The fans get pissed and decides to start throwing trash into the ring, and
Jeff starts to continue to hug Hogan, Jarrett, Bischoff, and then Abyss. Immediately preceding this celebration, RVD runs into the ring and starts having a confrontation with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy turns, grabs the belt, and knocks out RVD. I guess we know who they are now.
Bischoff, Jarrett, and all those other guys that the Wolfpack had continued to feud with Hogan, Bischoff, which means that, well, in my opinion, the Wolfpack, Samoa Joe, the Pope D'Angelo De Niro, Anderson, they're going to be the new faces of TNA. It's not going to be Jeff Jarrett. It's not going to be Jeff Jarrett. It's not going to be Jeff Hardy. It's not going to be Hogan. It's not going to be Bischoff. It sure as hell ain't going to be Abyss.
Which makes us bring to mind that since they have said before that they will take complete control and Dixie would have no control, that the contract that Dixie signed saying that Abyss will be fired was actually a contract saying that she has no control or say in TNA. Now, I do not know if this is for certain. This is just my thought on it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Our rating for the overall pay-per-view, since it was a very big shock value, most of the matches were very entertaining, is a 4 out of 5. We would like to know what you guys think.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next time. Check you later.